What is up, guys? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with another Vanguard deck profile. It's been a really long time since I did one of these because I haven't really been playing a lot of Vanguard, but with the DZ-BT01 out, I did play around with some of the new support for Keter and Lyrical, and I also put in an order for the Dragon Empire as well as the Dark States full sets, so I'll be getting those a bit later. But let's do a deck profile on the new Keter boss monster, Rezael. So yeah, this deck is really fun to play. I don't think it is the best deck in this current format. I think the Vanguard is, but I think this is a pretty fun deck to play, and he is very cool. So he's probably gonna be my main for a little bit. So yeah, let's go over the deck profile and just go over some of the card options. It's been a while since I did Vanguard deck profile, so might be a bit rusty, but alright, let's go on with it. So for the ride deck, we are going to be running the basic Rezael line. I think the grade 2 is pretty good, so whenever you ride the grade 3 on top of the grade 2, you'll be able to call a grade 2 from the drop, which is pretty nice because you can pretty much ditch some useless grade 2 early game and then you can use it back later. And then this one just gives you soul charge as well as a AK boost later on. And it is a 10k booster when you do reach grade 3, so it's okay to have. Next, let's move on to the main deck. So we are running 3 more of the Rezael. Obviously you want a Persona ride, so we're running 3 of those. This deck is pretty grindy. You want to grind, you want to survive as long as possible and then use the Divine skill. Alright, actually let's talk about the boss monster. So on attack, you can counterblast 1 to call from the drop 2 different grade cards that are equal to, that add up to your damage zone basically. So if you're at 2 damage, you can call a 2 and a 0. Or if you're at 3 damage, you can call a 3 or a 0, or a 2 and a 1. So you can kind of use your drop zone as a toolbox, which is really nice. And you can just kind of use this for multi-attacks. Not really super useful until you reach the late game. If you want to do 5 attacks, you can do 4 attacks pretty easily with this deck, but the 5th attack is going to take a little bit just because you do want to hit your grade 2 and grade 3 in order for you to do that. So for the Divine skill, once per game, obviously, active Soul Blast 1, put all the crits back into your deck and then shuffle. Then this card gets +1 drive for the turn. And then another effect that lasts until the end of the fight, which is whenever you would damage check a trigger that is not a heal, you can heal a damage if you're a 5th or more damage. So basically it turns your crits into heals if you're on the, if you check up for your 6 damage. So it's a very anime-esque ability, but that's not really the main ability you want to be focusing on. You want to be focusing on the ability to shuffle back all your crits, because that does immediately make your deck a lot more explosive when you compress it down enough, which Keter is very good at. So yeah, but of course you have to survive long enough to do that. So one of the ways that you can do that is with Sages. So Sages lets you look at the top card of your deck, and you can put it either back to the top or put it into Soul, and then you can kind of also want to get one of the following effects. If your opponent's Vanguard is 14k or above, you can have this card gain that power. And then the second effect is you can put an over, remove an over from the game for a drop to give one of your other front row units plus 15k. So it's pretty good. Next, for the other cards, we're running one of the Bracing Angel Ladder, which is the card from Triple Drive. So it is a Regalius piece you're already running in the deck. The ability is draw 1, put this card into the Soul, and then until the end of your opponent's next turn. During your turn, all your Vanguards get plus 1000 power, and all your rearguards cannot be chosen and cannot be put other than rearguard circle by your opponent's card effects. So really good in this deck just because you can, 1, you can get an extra Soul, 2, you can add survivability by making your Vanguard 18k for a turn, which usually does actually make the difference. I was running the other Regalius piece before, and I didn't really need it. This one is very good for this deck, so we are running this instead because there are still multi-attack decks, and by giving you extra 5k to guard per attack is just really important. Next, we're running 3 of the Regalia order. So counterblast 1, draw 2 cards, and then from your hand call 2 cards that are equal to your Vanguard's grade or lower, and then if you don't, you have to discard them. So you're going to use this to just filter, just dig into your deck more. If you draw into crits, that's fine. You can have it for guard, and then just use your divine skill to put them back in the next turn. And we also have a card that can combo really well with this deck, and that is the order support from BT-01. So whenever this card is called other by a unit's ability, so this does not work with Rezael, but that's okay. The call ability is secondary. But when this card is called other by card effect, sorry, by unit effect, you can, and you play an order this turn, a normal order this turn, you can soul blast 1 to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then call a unit that is equal or less grade than your Vanguard. And if you can also choose an order. If it's a normal order, you can add it to your hand instead. And then for the second ability is when this card attacks a grade 3 or above, this unit, and you have 4 more units, this card gets plus 10k, which is the most important thing because your main Vanguard doesn't really give you power. So you want to have units that just give you power. So this is one of the ones that do. And it comes at pretty much no cost, so we're running 4 of those. We're also running 3 of the Nobias, which is the new support for Rezael in BT-01. So on call, if you have Rezael Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 to look at top 3 cards of your deck and choose a grade 3 or lower and call it. And put it to the bottom, put the rest at the bottom of the deck. And if this is called during the battle phase, you can you have to add it to your hand instead, so you don't get an extra card on the board. And then the second ability is when this card attacks a grade 3 or above. If your Vanguard is Rezael, you can soul blast 1 to get plus 10k. So why I don't like this card more than this is just because of the soul blast cost to get 10k. If you need to hit the extra 10, then you're going to need to soul blast anyway. But I prefer to save my soul blast for other things. But sometimes when you don't need it, I guess it's fine. So yeah, we're running 3 of those. But yeah, soul blast management is kind of important. So next we're running 4 Biscotti. This is the new Energy Blast support for Kidder. So this card is placed as a discard fodder for your ride deck, or if this card is placed in a Guardian Circle, you can counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to draw 1, which is the generic ability for all nations. And the second ability is place this card, when this card is placed on a rearguard circle, if your persona wrote this turn, you can counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3. So go to the top 3 cards of your deck and put 1 to the top and put the rest at the bottom. And if this card is placed outside of the battle phase, you can call it to rearguard circle instead. So using this to thin your deck is pretty good. Of course, you would prefer to play this on your main phase so that you can just get a free unit on the board. But if not, using her to guard is pretty nice as well. You can potentially dig into more shield and whatnot. So yeah, 4 Biscottis. So next we're running 3 of the Catawals. So this is I think this was originally from the Youthbrick Thrower deck. So when this card attacks a Vanguard at the end of the battle, if you have 4 or more units, you can soul blast 1, retire this unit, and look at the top 3 cards of your deck. And you can grab a grade 2 or above unit back to your hand. And if you don't grab anything, then you can draw 1 instead. So it's just 3 cards in your hand. So we're running 3 of these. These are really good because they remove themselves from the board, which then you would normally call over something with your Rezael anyway. So by making himself empty and replenishing your hand, this card just works really well with the deck. So running 3 of those. Next, we're running 3 Aerial Sage. This is the Rezael support. When this card boosts a grade, and you have a grade 3 or above Vanguard, this card gets plus 5k, so it's a 13k boost. When this card boosts a Rezael, it gets additional, you can discard a card, countercharge 1, and then it gets plus 2k. So it is a 15k booster if you're boosting Rezael. Next, running the best card in the deck, we're running the Cell Guan. So this is the Bushiro, oh no, that's not Bushiro. This is the manga promo. So this card reprinted, I think, beginning, end of last month. So I picked 4 of the manga up, so I got it for retail. I think this card's pretty expensive now, so I guess you guys can wait for another reprint if you guys didn't pick this one up. But if you're a Ketos player, I think you should really pick this one up. When this card boosts, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, or you played an order this turn, this card gets plus 5k, and at the end of battle, retire this unit and then look at the top 2 cards of the deck and choose a card from amongst them and put it through your hand, and then you put the rest of the bottom of the deck. So this column is just really good because you can attack with it, pop the column, and then you can pretty much get 2 cards back. So you can make your hand pretty thick. It just adds a lot more survivability to the deck because that is what this deck wants. And for the rest of the deck, it's just the basics. We're running 4 Sentinels, one of the ordered Sentinel, and then 3 of the regular Sentinels. And then for the triggers, we are going to be running 8 crits, 3 draws, and 4 heals, as well as the red OT. This can be used, you can use the blue OT instead if you want as well. The blue OT is pretty much an extra crit, which is really nice, but I kind of like the extra attacks. But the blue OT lets you grab a card as well, so if you need a Sentinel, you can. But I personally like the red one in this deck a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. It is a really fun deck to play, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and I don't know what else to say. It's just a fun deck to play. I think it is strong. It is strong, but you just gotta grind it out and hope your opponent doesn't rush you too hard, or you at least get a defensive trigger of some sort. Just because if you do get rushed and you don't throw enough crits into your drop and recycle them, you might not do the best compression for the deck, which might be a waste of the divine skill, but I think it's okay. It's okay. I really wish the triple drive lasts longer than just one turn. But I guess there is a lot of compression and just lots of advantage going on with the rest of the deck, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I did Vanguard deck profile, so if you guys are interested in seeing more, feel free to leave a comment down below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys watch the channel, feel free to use the affiliates down below. But this is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys next time.